Childhood and first ambitions. I had no plan B. My only plan was to be the best. Arnold Schwarzenegger was born on July 30th, 1947, in the small Austrian village of Thal near Graz. His family was poor. His father was a strict police officer who instilled discipline in him from an early age. There wasn't much warmth at home, but there was structure. And young Arnie learned to transform harshness into strength. As a teenager, he came across a magazine featuring bodybuilders and realized this was his ticket to a bigger world. His first goal became crystal clear: to become the best bodybuilder in the world, to win Mr. Olympia, and escape beyond the borders of Austria. The gym he trained in was primitive. The dumbbells were homemade. The food was minimal. Still, Arnold trained twice a day, kept a journal of his progress, and already saw himself as a champion in his mind. Key lessons. Dreams are born even in the humblest of places. Discipline is stronger than circumstances. If you see yourself as a winner in your mind, you're already halfway there. America and the rise in bodybuilding. Faith beyond borders. I came to America with two things: an accent and a dream. Both became my weapons. At 21, Arnold stepped onto American soil in Los Angeles. His English sounded like military commands mixed with German cinema. His pockets were nearly empty, but his heart? A volcano. America was loud, strange, and unforgiving to outsiders. But Arnold didn't come to try, but he came to conquer. He woke up at 5 a.m., worked in construction, trained twice a day, and studied English between sets. He cut out photos of successful people and wrote next to them, "I'm next." In the gym, he transformed. No audience, no cameras. Just the barbell, the mirror, and a heart that beat with more than muscle. It beat with purpose. He wasn't just lifting weights, he was rebuilding himself. Every rep was a vow, every set was a response to doubt. Every muscle ache was proof. I'm alive, I'm still in the game. I imagined standing on stage. I saw the crowd cheering, I heard them say my name. So I lifted again, and again. How could I stop if I already saw the end? He trained to failure, not just when it hurt, but until his vision dimmed. Because that's where true strength begins. He wasn't doing it for likes or applause. Each lift was a step away from poverty, fear, and limitations, and a step closer to a dream no one else saw, but he was already living. Training is like life. If it doesn't hurt, you're not growing. If you're not breaking yourself, you won't become new. In 1970, he won Mr. Olympia, the most prestigious bodybuilding title in the world. He was only 23. He didn't just win, he won in a foreign land, in a foreign tongue, at his very first major competition. Picture this. Bright lights, giants with sculpted bodies all around. Arnold stands, breathing deeply. In his mind, cold basement workouts, his father's shouts, his first dumbbells. Silence. The judge says, "And the winner is Arnold Schwarzenegger." But victory didn't relax him. He understood. Winning once is luck. Winning again and again is a system, and he built that system. He went on to win Mr. Olympia 6 more times, becoming a myth in the world of bodybuilding. At the same time, he invested in real estate. He knew the body wouldn't last forever, but wisdom was capital. He became a millionaire before Hollywood ever called. Key details. He learned English watching TV with subtitles. Wrote letters to his future self. I live in Los Angeles. I have won. I help others. His philosophy: fake it until you become it. Core emotions. Every win was a slap in the face of the past. Loneliness in a new country turning into freedom. Turning his accent from a barrier into a signature. Hollywood. Not just a stage, a platform of power. I never wanted to be part of the system. I wanted to be the change no one saw coming, but no one could ignore. How it started. Inspiration and mentors. Before his first role, Arnold idolized Reg Park, a British bodybuilder who starred in Hercules films. Park was proof that strength could become cinema. I saw Reg Park on screen and thought, I can be a hero too, and I will be. That was a turning point. Another inspiration? Rocky. Sylvester Stallone would become his rival later, but Arnold admired the story deeply. Rocky symbolized falling, fighting, and rising. That was my life. Breaking the system. After dominating bodybuilding, Arnold moved into acting, but the system pushed back. You're too muscular. Your accent is ridiculous. No one will remember that name. He contacted dozens of agents, sometimes paid to be heard. Eventually, he landed a small role in Stay Hungry, 1976, and won a Golden Globe as New Star of the Year. He couldn't be ignored anymore. Terminator, Accident or Destiny. Arnold was initially offered the role of Kyle Reese, but he analyzed the Terminator so deeply that he convinced James Cameron to cast him as the machine. I said, the Terminator has to be emotionless, precise, like a machine. That's me. I've lived that way all my life. Discipline, order, efficiency. That is who I am. That decision changed cinema. His line, "I'll be back," became legend, not just because of the delivery, but because Arnold insisted on using it instead of, "I will come back." He felt its rhythm, its charisma, its punch. My muscles were my costume, but my inner state, my thoughts, my presence, brought the character to life. Off-camera discipline. Practiced intonation for hours. Took private acting and accent reduction classes. Trained his facial expressions, knowing most of his early roles had few words but tons of energy. Critics versus public critics saw him as just muscle. The audience? They saw authenticity. He began doing comedies like Twins and Kindergarten Cop, proving that strength includes humor and humility. I knew I had to laugh at myself to survive Hollywood, and that made me even stronger. His film philosophy: I don't play heroes, I become them. Hollywood isn't a dream factory, it's a battlefield. If you don't fight, you're forgotten. Being real is the best script you can follow. Politics: when the iron hero becomes a leader. I didn't become a politician to play a role, I became one to take action. In 2003, California was in crisis. Energy instability, a budget deficit, and a population losing faith in its leadership. Then, live on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, Arnold shocked the nation. I have decided to run for governor of California. The studio went silent. The country stared. Arnold smiled. He was going all in. And once again, not for fame, but for purpose. Why politics? This wasn't sudden. Since the 1990s, Arnold had supported reform efforts and spoken at political events. He was inspired by John F. Kennedy and influenced by his father-in-law, Sargent Shriver, husband of Maria Shriver and a Kennedy himself. I was surrounded by people who believed in service. They didn't just talk about change, they made it. I wanted to join them. Arnold saw his strength, discipline, and fame as tools for impact. Politics was no longer a distant idea. It was a mission. The campaign? Bold, direct, human. He didn't attack. He offered solutions. No political jargon, just bold messages, honest language, and personal presence. I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican. I care about common sense. He toured cities, visited schools, met with teachers, students, workers, farmers. I didn't promise paradise. I promised to work. As governor 2003 to 2011, 2 terms major achievements: green energy reforms and emission reduction initiatives. A B-32 climate change law. California led America in climate action. Fiscal measures to reduce the budget deficit. Investments in education, infrastructure, roads, bridges, and schools. He wasn't perfect, and he admitted it. I made mistakes, but I never dodged decisions. It's better to act and correct than to freeze in fear. Powerful quotes as governor. California is not just a state, it's the engine of America. If we start it, the country moves. I don't fear pressure. I've lived under it all my life. It doesn't break me, it shapes me. Service is the greatest challenge to ego and the highest reward for the heart. Global reaction. People expected failure, but he surprised everyone. Even critics admitted he worked hard. He wasn't a celebrity in office, he was a fighter, a leader. And when he left, his approval ratings were higher than most. And more importantly, he left with respect. My greatest role wasn't in a movie, it was here, in real life. And it's still going. Beyond politics, a mission that never ends. I went through sports, Hollywood, and politics. But my biggest journey is inspiring those still on the way. After stepping down as governor, Arnold didn't vanish. In fact, he became more present than ever. No longer playing roles, no longer chasing titles. Now simply a man who had lived 3 full lives and wanted to give back. What he does today? Environmental advocate, founder of R20 Regions of Climate Action. He speaks at the UN, collaborates with Greta Thunberg, and supports the next generation of climate activists. Mentor. He releases motivational videos, meets with students and young leaders, and shares his principles through speeches, books, and online platforms. Author. Books like Total Recall and Be Useful offer raw, practical wisdom. His mantra? Don't look for what's easy, look for what's necessary. Return to screen. With new roles in Terminator, the Netflix series Fubar, and the documentary Arnold, he opens up fully about betrayal, loss, mistakes, and growth. I made many mistakes, but I didn't let any of them destroy me. I grew through them, and that's why I'm truly alive. His mature philosophy. The body may age, but your will doesn't have to. Each day is a new scene, and I'm still on set. I no longer build muscle, I build influence. He wakes up at 5 a.m., rides his bike, speaks in schools, feeds his donkeys and ponies at home. Every action, a part of his mission, to show that true strength lies in kindness, wisdom, and purpose. Arnold's strongest words? I was a kid with no money, but I had a vision. I was a foreigner, but I had determination. I was a beginner in everything, but I had discipline. And that's why I became who I became. Final message. A man who redefined what's possible. Arnold Schwarzenegger is more than a rags to riches story. He's proof that you can rise above fear. A dream can outgrow poverty, accents, and rejection. Real greatness is not in taking, but in serving. Anything is possible, and if you believe, plan, and never give up.